Hello, good morning. It is Wednesday, January 5th. Today we are starting a new lesson about decimals, but before we get started, we're going to do our review slide. Are y'all ready for the review slide?
Yes.
Here we go. Select two statements that are true. The two statements that you should have selected. Kyrie, I said you could share out yesterday, and I did not allow you to share out yesterday. Would you like to share out today?
Sure.
Go ahead. My apologies for that, by the way.
It's okay. This one is from my baby. So for number one, I picked A and C.
And why is that?
I chose those because first I just took a look here and knew that this would be 10 because, well, 10
Uh-huh.
because it doesn't have any 0 here
Good.
or here.
Good.
And then I know this is 100 because it has a 0 here.
This is 2/10, and this is 20 hundredths, correct? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Who agrees with Kyrie? Very good.
And I know those are equivalent, and proof of that is you can just multiply the top and bottom by 10.
Like that?
Yeah.
Good. Same thing for letter C.
Pretty much, yep.
So we have 1 and 30 hundredths and 1 and 3/10 here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And we have a 0 here and a 0 here. Is that right?
Yep.
Everybody give Kyrie 2 big claps. Good job. And number 2?
Number 2, I chose B.
Who agrees with Kyrie? Hands all over town. And for the same reason, correct?
Pretty much, yes.
Very good. Very good. Do y'all see what's happening here? This here is 9/10 if you put it on your chart down here. 0.9. My chart's cut off on my paper. This here is 90 hundredths. 0.90. In the recording, I made a very important point to say your ones place both has zeros. Your decimal point is lined up in the same spot. The tenths place both has 9. And your hundredths place has a 0 and nothing, which is code for 0, right?
Yeah.
And so this here tells you that your decimals are equivalent, as well as our knowledge of fractions also tells you that they're equivalent, as well as using a number line, which is what you're doing on your practice poster. Those of you that are actually in my class, anytime you're at home, you can go click on the practice cactus and work on whatever I have on there. So you can go work on those things. The practice poster has a number line. You can also think of these things as a grid. So you have 2/10, which is 2 lines, right? Or you have 20 hundredths, which is 20 little hundredths, but they are equivalent. Does that make sense? We ready for the next lesson?
Yes.
Here we go. I think this is going to be easy. Are you feeling like, do you feel like decimals on number lines would be something that you could have great success in?
Yes. Yes.
Let's compare some decimals, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Which one doesn't belong? Oh, you know these are my favorite things. Which one doesn't belong? I'm going to give you 30 seconds of think time. Go.
I already know. Oh. I know the best answer.
James.
Number E.
Why?
Because A, if you look at A, it says 8/10, right? Now we go down here. Okay, so we'll count to where it says A on the number line.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's 8/10 from there.
8/10 here. So you're saying the number line doesn't belong? Why so? Huh?
That's not it. It's B. Because it's over one whole. Yeah. The rest are not over one whole.
James, why does D not belong? D is the only one that is a number line. So D does not belong because there are no other number lines. What else? Kyrie?
I know it's different answer. Okay, just have to go.
I would say C because it's the only one that's really a decimal.
Is she right?
Yeah.
C is the only one that's a decimal. Ethan?
It's really, number A is really the letter one that's in letters.
A is the only one that's in letters. And Kelsey, what do you got for B? It's the only one that's over one whole and what? It can't go on the number line. What else is special about B? Riley?
It's 80 instead of 8, and if you use hundreds, that would be 800.
Okay. Lucia, what else? It's over one whole. What else, Micah?
It's a fraction.
It's the only one that's a fraction. What else, Caden?
That's what I was about to say, that A, C, and D actually belong.
Why?
Because they're all the same.
The same what?
The same. Like, 8/10 go to A, so does 80. When it goes to A,
James already told us that this is 8/10.
and
So this is 8/10, and this is 8/10.
that's 80.
Huh?
100.
8/10 is like
100.
So all of these three are equivalent, and B
It's over.
is not. Very good. I love those. Those are my favorite things. I love those. Those are fun. How might we revise? Ooh.
What?
How might we revise one or more of these options so that they all represent the same value? Which one needs to change in order to represent the same value, and how are we going to change it, Riley Kid?
We have to change B into 8/10.
How are you going to do that? What are you going to do?
We're going to take off the 0 off the 80.
Get rid of that 0 on that 80 right there, and then they're all equivalent, right? Ooh, that was a fun question. I like that. All right. Label each tick mark on the number line with the number it represents. What is our process for doing that? How do we decide how to label this number line? Lucia, what do you want to do?
You need to figure out which one, like, decimal.
Okay, how do you do that?
Things you make it a fraction.
I'm more comfortable with fractions right now with the knowledge that we have. I would rather use fractions to start out. Do you guys agree with Lucia?
Yeah.
We're happy with fractions. Let's talk about fractions first. And I mean, does it say we have to use a decimal?
No.
It just says label it. And you know how I am. You label it however you want. You want to do fractions? Lead me.
Or you can make it fraction and then you can still put the decimal on the number.
Well, sure. Let's just ignore all this for right now. Don't even worry about that. Let's only worry about number 1. Don't even worry about what they're asking you to do later. How do we do this? So every day we're going to be talking something about the air test most days. So this is a really good example of don't worry about what the next one says. Focus on one question at a time. What do you want?
You need to. I would count the spaces first in between.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that means this is
10. Wait. For decimal or for fraction?
however you want.
1/10.
1/10. What do you want? Decimal or fraction?
Fraction.
Me too. Next one, everyone.
2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths,
Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind.
7 tenths, 8 tenths, 9 tenths, 10 tenths.
Thank you for trying.
And then that's
One.
Oh, hold on. Wait. I think we're supposed to keep going.
12 tenths.
Okay. So we've done what they asked us to do for number 1. Check. Number 2. I'm going to change my color. Here are 8 numbers. Locate and label each number on the number line. Okay. So, where does this number go on the number line, Sophia?
It goes with the 1/10.
But this decimal reads as 10 hundredths. You still want it here? Who's in agreement with Sophia?
Why is nobody else?
because 1/10 is
This
decimal.
decimal reads as 10 hundredths. But we know that we can take 2 of these zeros off and we have 1/10, right? Yeah, that's right. Next one. Who wants to place the next one, Vlad?
That one will go on 4 tenths.
But Vlad, this reads as 40 hundredths. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Or is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're local.
Who agrees with Vlad? Excellent work. Kaden, you want the next one?
Yeah. It goes from 8 tenths.
Kaden, this says 80 hundredths right here.
If we take off the 0 at the end, it will make tenths. At the 0, easy 80.
So are we fine with this?
Yeah.
Is Kaden right? Okay. Ooh, next one. Tricky. Tricky. Gabe is ready for a trick. Here we go.
11 tenths.
Gabe. But this says, this doesn't even come close to saying 11 tenths. This says 1 and 10 hundredths is what this says.
Gabe
One
right.
more than 10.
Huh? What'd you say?
Gabe is definitely right.
Are you right?
Yes, I am right.
I know you're right. I'm just trying to be tricky. Good job.
Just trying to be tricky.
Now let's get tricky. Now let's see. Hold on, wait. Let me put orange dots on here.
Put it on the ding dong board.
I'm going to change my color again because these are orange, and what's different about these than is about these? I'm going to put these in green. What is different? Oh, I love that there are hands everywhere. Like, I don't know what makes a kid think, like, if you wiggle, I'm going to call on you more. I think every kid in the history of life ever, like, wiggles, like,
Because it's eventually going to happen.
the more you wiggle, the more you get my attention, like, call on me, lady, please, call on me. What's different about the orange decimals? Ow, that hurt my arms. Versus the green decimals. Nehemiah, I haven't spoken with you yet today, my good sir.
I think I killed him.
Huh?
All that.
Ooh, what does he mean? He says they're odd. Is he right? What's he talking about? What is he saying? Jillian, what do you think? Try to decode Nehemiah's Go.
When he says odd, it means it's like odd amount of. So like 80 is even because it's like 2 4 6.
Because it has a 0 in the
In the
hundredths place. All of these have zeros in the hundredths place, but all of these have 5s in the hundredths place. Who agrees with Nehemiah that makes a change? That makes a difference. How is that difference? Oh, see, the recording has to be live because I do better teaching when I have you guys with me. What makes the difference about how these are going to go on the number line itself? What do you notice about where the orange dots hit and where are the green dots going to hit, Riley?
They're gonna hit on odd numbers.
No.
Like the odd numbers.
Sort of, not exact. Allie, what do you think?
I think you're gonna have to like double them because you're gonna have to count by 5 one more time. So like 15 and you're gonna go 20, so that's probably gonna be 2 tenths.
Okay. Lucia's,
They're gonna go in between.
huh?
Are they gonna go in between the numbers?
Yeah, are you asking?
They're gonna go in between.
She's like, they're gonna go in between the numbers. Look at where these hit. These hit right on the line, right? But these are a 5. So are they gonna hit right on the lines? No, they're gonna hit in between the lines, just like she said. And what did you say? What you said was right.
They were gonna land on odd numbers.
They're gonna land on odd numbers. That's true. And you said something that was also right.
You're gonna have to double them by 5 one more time to get like 15, 20.
Oh, because look here what she's looking at. This here, this one and this one are related. This one here, they're all gonna be close to each other, ain't they? They all gonna be real close. So now that we've kind of built that background information, land one, Micah.
75 will be between 7 tenths and 8 tenths.
Okay, but this says 75 hundredths. And you can't change 75 hundredths to 7 tenths or 8 tenths.
In between.
So you're saying to me, this is what you're saying to me, that this is 70 hundredths. Is everybody listening to me?
Yeah.
Is everybody listening to me? Yes?
Yes.
You listening? Are you? Oh, I already pointed at you. Sorry. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Hey. Hi, my beautiful face is up here. You listening to me? You're saying that this is 70 hundredths and this is 80 hundredths. And for those reasons, you want your decimal to go in between there because this is 75 hundredths. Is that what you're saying? Is he saying the right thing?
Yes.
Everybody give yourselves 3 big claps. You guys are doing a great job today. I'm going to do like a little like line action here because, okay, is that fine? Do we know the line means we're pointing to that dot? Is that fine? Yes? Okay. All right, so we got 75 hundredths on there. Who wants to place another one? Danica.
I think.
Wait. It's Danica's turn.
So like I'm gonna say
Okay,
something
shh.
back around. See? Whisper it.
Danica, it's your turn. Go.
0.455 goes between 4 tenths and 5 tenths.
How can it go right here? Is that fine?
No.
Why?
What? No.
Why?
Because that's too close to the 40. That would be like 41.
Oh, so it has to kind of like be like correct and like be in the like the right place.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Oh, so I have to like put things on my number line like kind of accurately.
Kind of like.
So how about here?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is
45.
0.45. All right, Caden, what do you want? Caden's itching to do one. Whatever one you wanted to do. I just did this one.
I'll do the 105.
Okay.
Well,
Don't read it. It's not 1 and 0, 5. Read it correctly. What is it?
1 whole and 5 ones.
No. Somebody read it. Who can read it? Julian?
1 whole and 1 bit.
Closer.
1.0.
Woo, closer. Who else can read it? Come on. Who have I not talked to today? Raise your hand if you haven't got to talk. Sean, do you know what this decimal is?
1,
Yes. And?
5.
Hey, everybody give Sean 3 big claps. 1 and 500ths. Say thank you, Sean. Read it the way Sean told you to read it.
1 500.
1 and 500ths.
1 and 500.
Good job. Where do you want it? Oh, this is a fun day, isn't it?
Well,
really
you have
cool.
to finally get through one after 2 days.
It's off the number line.
Because it's bigger than 12. It goes to 15. Because when you go to 10, there'll be 5 more.
But it's only okay. Okay. He says because it will go to 10 and then it's 5 more. Read this out loud again. Tell him, Sean. Read this to me again. Pause.
100.
No.
No, wait. 1 and 500.
1 and 500ths.
1 and 500.
But this number line is listed in hundreds,
10.
tens. So are you wanting to take this? Are you wanting to take this over here to 15 tenths?
Yeah.
Who wants to respectfully disagree with Caden?
Nope.
We love you, but we disagree. We ain't taking that all the way to 15 tenths. So here's what we're gonna do. Bless you. Twice. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna change this number to hundreds. Are you ready? 100 hundredths, 110 hundredths, 120 hundredths.
Nice.
Where do you want it, Sophia?
I want it in between the 9 tenths and the 10 tenths.
So I'm going to change this to hundredths for a second. This is 90 hundredths and 100 hundredths. But I have more than one whole. And here's my one whole. So if I have more than one whole, do I want this behind the one hole? No. Help her, Nehemiah.
You want it between
We're going to get it.
the 11 and 10.
Huh?
Between the 10 and 11.
Oh, I like how you fixed that. Good job. Were you nervous for a second?
Yeah.
I was nervous for a second. He said 11. I was like, ah! At 10. I was like, oh. And then he switched it. So you want it right here? Can I put it here?
No.
Like in this area?
No.
Okay. It has to be accurate. Fine.
Put the dang dot.
How's that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of big, but it's fine, right?
Whatever.
It is.
Put the dang dot. Right.
So what's my decimal going to be here? Gabe?
1.05 or 0.15 because they're the same thing.
This and this is not the same thing.
Wait, what? Yes.
Because this is greater than one whole.
I know. But the 15 is that because it did the greater than one whole and it put the 1 there. But if you didn't do the 1 there, it would be 15.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. But this is not 15 whole. This is not one and 500ths. This is 15 hundredths. So this is 1 and 500ths, which if we wanted to write this as a fraction, yeah. And this is 15 hundredths. Where do we want this last one, Kelsey and Connor? Very good. Careful now. Kind and gentle. It's okay. 1500s. Yeah? Good job. Locate and label each number on the number line. Which number is the greatest? Greatest. Which decimal? Vlad.
The greatest decimal is 1.1 and 10 hundredths because well, it's the farthest on the number line.
Very good. It's the furthest on the number line. Which one is the least? Least. Ethan. 0.10 hundredths. Hey, good job. You don't have to say it. That's excellent. But you don't have to say the 0.10 hundredths. All you have to say is 10 hundredths. It's just 10 hundredths. Good job, Ethan. Everybody give Ethan and Vlad 3 big claps. Good job. Explain how the number line can determine the greatest or least numbers. Vlad already did that when he said that it's the furthest on the number line. Ethan, why did you pick 10 hundredths?
Because it's the lowest on the number line.
It's the one that's closest to 0, right? Excellent. Very nicely done. Love that. Locate and label these numbers on the number line. Ooh. Use 2 numbers from the previous questions to complete in comparison. Okay. So you can do this in your Cactus notebook. I want you to draw a number line. Make it like the whole side from pink line to pink line. The whole size of your page. Okay?
What?
0. Wait, how many lines?
So like here's your pink line on this side. Here's your pink line on this side in your paper, in your book. All right? It just kind of is behind it's just kind of like on the other side of the page. It's just really faint, but it's okay. So then on this pink line, we're going to put a 0. On this pink line, we're going to put the number 1. And then we're going to go in the middle of our page, and we're going to put a tick mark. That's our halfway mark. That's our 5, because we're going to break up this number line into tenths. And then we're going to do 4 on the left, 4 lines on the right. And if you do that, then you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have just drawn a number line with tenths. Yes.
What about the ones that are past 1?
Hey, everyone. We got one of these bad boys that are past 1 whole. We're going to need to extend our number line some, don't you think?
Ugh.
Yeah, good job, Kyrie.
But we can't.
You can't.
Well, you can. You got space. You got a little bit of space past that pink line. If you did what I said, if you did what I told you to, you can. You got a little bit of space. It's okay. Just fit it in the best you can. It's all right. Now, once you have your number line drawn, I want you to work with your table to plot these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimals. I'm going to be coming around checking on you. If you're watching online, you can use this time to either fast forward to when I start talking again or pause and work on this as well. Get to work. Work with your table. I should hear you talking now.
Okay.
So wait, after the word, we should just extend the number line. Extend the number line. Wait, what?
Take
0.24.
I think I get this is alright.
If 0.24 is right there.
0.25 is in the middle. You gotta go 1 back.
But look, right here, 0. Then right here, 0.25.
So 8's gonna go 8.
You have to do that 8 first because that's
0.
Oh, I knew.
So that's
Yeah, that's small.
So past 8. 1.
you can't put it past her because that's past 10. So you have to put it right here. Yeah, just about right there.
Where's it going?
Right there. That's where that little. Okay, so.
So where's it gonna go? That's gonna be smart. That's so it's going like just in front of that first line.
Because like look, we have one area. If you do it here, then that's backwards.
So
So like about right
So then one will and
So like really close to
on the 12th. It will go on the 12th.
like that right there.
So count 12
Look,
again.
right next to the first line, he has it. Was that 8? Was that 8? Was that 8?
Yeah, it's 0.0.
So 8 out of
Okay.
Now we can do your. Wait, no, now I can do.
I'm already on 1.12.
Okay, so you're gonna
Camera, stop.
on the 8 line. See, on my 8 is under like
25 would be halfway.
Okay, I'm done.
You change this to 20.
What?
25 would be halfway. So you just put it in. Does that make sense?
Where's the 8?
What? Okay.
Anyways, okay.
Which one are we doing now? 12. 24.
I did all
You don't have them labeled. Did you work with your table? Or did you do it by yourself? You don't have your number line labeled. You don't have anything labeled.
Number line label. What? You got a label.
Well, let's focus on what we're supposed to work on.
How'd you label?
What do we got? 0.08. We have the first 0 is the ones place.
And where do we put
And then the next place is the tenths. And then the place after that is the hundredths. So this 8 is in the hundredths place. So that says 8 hundredths. 8 hundredths is simply 8 tenths.
Yeah. You should add more.
You're under.
Where's the one?
Okay. So yeah, you're.
So this is why.
Well, if it was a 1, it would have to
That's
have
under
2
10.
tenths or
That's
100.
under.
No, yes, it is. That's 1.
Yeah, this is. And you're saying this right?
No, it's under 1 and.
Yeah,
That's not right because it's under 1 and 10. You kind of have to go a little past. Yeah.
I already figured it out.
I did that.
1 is Class.
Yes.
Let's take the last few minutes to talk about this. We're almost out of time. So I have a lot of us that when we're working together, we're doing a really good job. And then when I set you free to work on your own, it's like, meh, right? And that's okay. That's what learning is. So one group, table 4, is like, we're going to write this, we're going to label our number line in fractions first. I told you yesterday, and I'll tell you again, you guys have a good foundation of fractions. You understand fractions really well. And so, because of that, You should rely on that knowledge as much as you can. Rely on that fraction foundation that we've already laid out, okay? So let's go. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to kind of label them down here so that I have more space to write up on my actual number line. Is that okay? The first thing we should probably do is label our number line with fractions. So we know what we're looking at, okay? And then when we get here, we know that, well, how do we save this decimal? If we need a chart, this is our decimal point right here. This is the ones place, tenths place, hundredths place. I'm just going to put the number 100 just for the sake of time, okay? So if we need a place value chart to help us remember, we've got 0.24. So this is 24 hundredths. My number line is not written in hundreds. My number line is written in tenths. So I'm going to change some of these, this one and this one, to hundredths. 20 hundredths and 30 hundredths. That means my 24 hundredths, is it going to go right in the middle of the halfway mark? No, it's going to go a hair before halfway. All right? 24 hundredths. Do you see how we plotted that one? That's how we plotted that. Tomorrow on your review slide, you're going to have to plot on a number line. That's what's going to be on your review slide tomorrow. So the practice poster and this is going to be very helpful. Then we have 96. Is 96 going to go like down here or down here somewhere? Toward the 1, right? Because if we have 96 hundredths, we almost have 100 hundredths. We almost have the whole, right? 24 hundredths, 96 hundredths. Now we have 61 hundredths. Where do you want it? Somebody tell me. Where do you want it? Sophia?
I want it in between 6 tenths and 7 tenths, more towards the 6.
Pretty close to the 6, right? Because it's 61. 61 hundredths, good. Now this one is tricky. It can be tricky if you let it. Because it's 1 and 12 hundredths. Here is what I recommend you do. Because I see a 12 right here. So the temptation is going to be 1 and 12 hundredths. But this is not 12 hundredths. This is
12 tenths.
12 tenths. So here's what I'm going to do to keep my mind on straight. 100, 110, 120. I'm going to go ahead and put those zeros on there so that I got my mind on straight. So where's it going to go then? Where's it going to go, Gabe?
It's going to go in between the 11 tenths and the 12 tenths.
Very good. Right around in this area, maybe-ish. 1 and 12 hundredths. And then we had a little bit of concern about this number right here. Riley Hanselman, talk to me.
Okay, so it's 0 and 8 and 8 hundredths. It's 0 and 8 hundredths.
And so if we were to write this as a fraction, it would be 8 hundredths. So is it going to be closer to the 0 or closer to the?
It's going to be closer to the 0.
It's going to be
In between. It's going to be in between the 1. No, it's going to be in between the 0 and the 1.
very good. Now that we have all of these numbers plotted, we can do this. Use two numbers from the previous questions to complete each comparison statement so that is true. Blank is greater than blank. Which one do you want? David?
100. Wait, 1 and 12.
1 and 12 hundredths is greater than
0 and 8 hundredths.
8 hundredths. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. Blank is less than blank. Riley Kidd.
8 hundredths is less than 96 hundredths.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Very good. And C, blank is the greatest number. Ethan.
1 and 1200.
Is the greatest number. Very good job. Excellent work. Very nice. Let's share our completed number lines. Whoopsie. We did that. Do you disagree with any of the locations of the point on the number line? No? Let's share our comparison statements. We did them together. So today we compared decimals in tenths and hundredths. How can we use a number line to help us make comparisons? Anybody want to speak to that? How can we use a number line to help us make comparisons? Vlad?
We can use number lines to help us compare like numbers because if they were equivalent, they would hit at the same line, and if they were different, then we could see which one's greater by seeing which one's closer to 1 and which one's closer to 0.
We know that when something hits the same place on the number line, that means they're equivalent, right? And we can tell if they're greater than or less than by which one's closer to the 0 or closer to the 1 or closer to the half. We know how to compare things to the 0, compare things to the 1, and compare things to the half, right? You have so much great mathematical knowledge to get you through these things. So this will be part of what is on your review slide for tomorrow. This concludes our math lesson for today. For the remainder of this class and online, I encourage you to get on that practice poster and practice plotting decimals on a number line. Do that for me until the end of this class. Thank you for watching. I love you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.